Hey Cancer, it's Jill with the Healing Moon Tarot, and today we're going to do your June 2018 general reading. And I'm going to set things up a little bit differently this month. I have been under the weather and decided just to focus on the cards and save my energy from the setup process of different camera angles and lighting and all of that thing. And just focus on giving you all the best reading I can for June. And my hands are hurting, so I'm not going to shuffle a ton. I'm just going to fan out cards and grab one here and there. But we're going to do your physical space, your mental space, your physical space, your emotional space, your spiritual space, and then a little action area where you should probably spend some time in consideration of this month. All right, I'm going to stop trying to shuffle. For your mental space, we are going to pull, I wanted this one, your Hanged Man. So Cancer, this month you may be feeling kind of still mentally. The Hanged Man, and not that nothing's going on, but he's forced into another perspective. Like he has had to surrender to this other view of the world. He's not upset that he's there. He's actually looks kind of comfortable there. Geez, now I'm going to get the hiccups. And the Hanged Man, mentally speaking, may be a time for you to go, whoa, I need to pause. I need to pull back. I need to reevaluate my perspective on things, or possibly someone else in your life is kind of forcing, they're not forcing it, but you've decided you have to surrender to their perspective and give it some time, give it some respect as far as, okay, I'm going to try to understand this the best I can. And in order to do that, I have to really allow some other perspectives in, and so I can reevaluate a little bit. I think that may really be playing in just energies are kind of shifting, and a lot of us are coming out of a reevaluation process, and it's okay to still be there to an extent, especially if you're in the mindset of like, okay, if I'm going to be still, at least I'm going to use it to my advantage and try to learn as much as I can from the situation that I'm in. So let's pull a card for your physical space. And we have the Empress. So physically, it may be very important this month to consider how you are nurturing yourself, and specifically your body. And as well as your physical world, your tangible stuff. So how am I taking care of my body? How am I loving it? What are my self-care routines? How am I manifesting better in my physical world and in my body? So what steps am I taking? What are my processes of creation? Am I giving myself that time? Am I nurturing myself properly and kind of mothering myself? What steps am I taking to make my physical body feel really good? This could be, taking baths, or heading to get a massage, or simply being mindful in the food you're putting in your body, or being mindful to be active and engaged in your physical world. A lot of us, I'm seeing it a lot right now. People changing diets, people committing to be more active, people committing to changing their physical environment as far as like cleaning stuff out, minimalizing their attachment to things, readjusting their relationship with consumerism. Those types of things seem to be very prevalent recently. Just watching people in my physical world, their experiences. So I imagine that's not just here locally, that globally this is something that's happening. So I would be mindful this month about how you are manifesting in yourself a healthy body and a healthy physical existence. Right, let's take a look at some emotional space for you, Cancer. We have the Knight of Coins. Emotionally, this may speak to how you make money, or how, again, that worth that you have in the world. What is your relationship? What do you do that brings tangible worth to your life, and how does that affect you emotionally? Are you emotionally connected to whatever it is that you're putting, that you create your value from? So let's say I'm a creator content here on YouTube as I'm making this video. Am I emotionally connected to this? Is this something that I'm have as part of my heart? Am I willing to detach certain things and say, yes, I put my heart into it. I really care about this thing. I really enjoy this thing, and I'm willing to put it into the world to see if I can create money with it. See if I can create a way to turn this passion inside me, my emotional space, into something that creates for me in my physical space. However, and that's important, it's important to have some kind of emotional attachment to what we're doing in the world. You know, there's people that work jobs all over the world all day long, every day, that hate it. They hate every aspect of it, but it's important to them to feed themselves, which is understandable. But if you are emotionally attached to what it is that you create, that also sets you up for feeling emotionally attacked or hurt if this isn't going well, or if someone criticizes it, or someone isn't accepting of it, whatnot. So overall, I believe this card specifically coming out in your emotional state is calling to you to reassess your emotional attachment to money, your emotional attachment to how you create it. Do you put it out there and say, okay, I really love this thing, and I'm going to do this thing regardless if other people accept it or not, regardless if people are okay with it, regardless if people find worth in it. It's something I love and I'm excited about, and it feels good to me, and I'm going to put it out in the world. But then once it's out there, I can detach from it and know that it was created with good intent, and I'm going to keep creating the next thing, kind of thing. So just in the month of June, that may be something that needs to come to your attention, some questions you have to ask yourself about those relationships. And it may be a very good thing. The Knight of Pentacles is actively involved. He seeks to find that in his life. He's making good long-term investments, long-term. He's a slow-moving energy. He's not quick in a fast hurry. So emotionally, how are you feeling about those investments that you're making and the things that you're doing long-term to help benefit you? All right, Cancer, let's grab one for your spiritual space. And we have the Two of Swords. So spiritually, you may just not be dealing with it right now. Or you're understanding that you need some time inside your own head. Not able to see. The moon is depicted here. This card can really speak of intuition, going within yourself, taking a pause and not dealing with the outside world. I'm just going to go inside myself and realign with what I think, and not so much rely on what other people's input is. Because he's blind. He's not paying attention to other people's stuff, paying attention to his own stuff, right? So spiritually, this may be a time to, if you have been considering new practices, or continuing education in your spiritual life, or possibly have involved in some kind of group activities, In the month of June, you may need to take all of these experiences you've had, or information you've gathered, or thoughts you've had, and give yourself time to pull away from the sources of them and hold them in yourself and take them into consideration. How do I really align with this? Is this something that feels good to me? Is this something that matches my moral compass? Is this aligned with where I want to go in my spiritual life? If you are not a spiritual person in any way, I think that depicts that really clearly, that if you're not spiritual, then you're not paying attention to that world, and you are relying on your own, what you believe is your own thoughts and feelings and whatever, and you're not letting some kind of structure like a church or whatnot implement too much stuff on yourself. So regardless of where you fall on that spectrum, in June, that may be something, if things are coming in, or if you've digested a lot of new information, or you haven't digested any new information, but you've just made more time in your own head to stay aligned with what feels good to your soul. And I'm going to take 2 cards now for action cards, kind of like suggestions for the month. And we have the 6 of Wands, and the High Priestess. So again, another card of going within oneself. This is a 2, this was a 2. They're very similar in the ideas. They show a lot of the same things, like the 2 of Swords and the 2 pillars. The moon is depicted in both. They both have their eyes slightly. She's wearing a veil, so she can see through his, where this one he's typically blindfolded or something physically in front of his face. So again, going inside of yourself, relying on your intuition. This may be calling on meditation practices, prayer practices, however you connect spiritually in the world. Taking time to consider different perspectives. Again, there's 3 cards that kind of speak of that stuff here. And we also have the 6 of Wands, which is a celebration of completion in your life. So something has kind of come to a stage where you can celebrate that you've made it this far. Like, okay, I've done this thing and I feel good, and other people around you may be really excited for you for accomplishing this, whether this is finishing school, getting some kind of job, something that's like, okay, I've done something and I've accomplished something. You could have ran a marathon for all I know, Cancer, but regardless of what it is, I believe these 2 cards coming out together as your action cards for the month is, again, self-care. It's okay to be within yourself and to understand different perspectives and let your brain digest things the way you need to, and take some time there, and feel good where you're at. Celebrate every day. Every day I'm alive, another day, and I've done another thing today. And sometimes it's just I haven't been a dirtbag, so I'm okay. Kind of celebration. Sometimes there's nothing, no grand event. It's just I made it through a day without being ugly or awful or miserable to anybody. I did what I needed to do to keep myself alive, and I need to celebrate that. And there's sometimes that feels like a really big celebration because you wonder how you made it through the day without being crappy to other people or whatever it may be. But celebrate where you are in life, nurture yourself through it. And just, I think this is just a reflective month of reevaluating how you feel, and how you think about things, and the time you give yourself to connect to yourself. All of those things may be playing a big role for you this month, Cancer. I think this is a beautiful reading, and I really hope, I'm so sorry. I really hope that my perspective and thoughts on these cards are helpful to you this month and generate some questions in your head that can help you work through any of these. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, I'd be happy to interact with you. Just message me down below or leave me a comment. I pull daily cards on Instagram and do like a very short blurb about their energies or how that may be playing a role in your life. I really enjoy doing it and I love getting feedback from people. So if you'd like to join me there, my Instagram will be below. And I guess we'll see you soon, Cancer. Be well.